Now, members of Toastmasters International from across the south of the UK will be travelling to Southampton at the beginning of May to compete for a coveted title. Finalists will then compete in the World Championship of Public Speaking to be held in Vancouver in August. And joining us in the studio now to tell us more are Gavin and Diane. Well, thank you very much for joining me. And public speaking is one of those things that we were talking about earlier that doesn't necessarily come naturally to some people.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think a lot of people are terrified to stand up in front of an audience, even quite senior business people. And so what we do is we help people, we create a safe space where people can learn the skills of public speaking, and it's just fantastic to see them grow. And many of them then will take part in the contests that we run as well.
And Diane, you were saying earlier that actually your first experience, you said you were physically shaking with it.
That's right, yeah. Your first project in Toastmasters is to give an introduction about yourself called the Icebreaker. And it's once you get over it, it's so much easier to do the ones that follow, and then each of them focus on a different aspect of either the structure, the content, or the delivery, you know, the body language or vocal variety. And but my first one, I'll never forget that feeling. And also I'll never forget the feeling of actually the satisfaction that I actually did it.
Brilliant. And Gavin, you were saying earlier as well that there's a definite distinction between maybe the Toastmasters that some people might be aware of the sort of the red coat at weddings and.
That's right. It's one of the historical things. The organisation started in the United States almost 90 years ago now, and it was called Toastmasters. But in this country, it very much has that association with master ceremonies at weddings. So we don't wear red coats, we don't do that kind of thing, although a number of Toastmasters have gone on to do that as a professional career. But we teach anybody the skills of speaking in public, and to some extent being able to MC meetings and things like that, because those are, I think, essential career skills or life skills that can help anybody.
And what would you say are sort of some of the top tips for anybody that is looking to sort of improve their public speaking for whatever purpose?
I think my top tip is always to relax and enjoy it. You've got to take part in it, but if you can focus on the audience, you take the focus off yourself and you stop noticing your nerves. The more you can pay attention to the audience and actually notice somebody smiling or nodding in the audience, then you start to relax and your natural personality just comes through.
And would you say a good joke always helps to break the ice as well, Diane?
They say, yeah, the World Championship speakers, they have people laughing every 15 seconds or so. So a few bits of humour in it really does help. Yeah.
And if there's anybody at home that maybe wanted to sort of boost their confidence, boost their public speaking, I mean, how would they get involved?
The easiest thing probably is to Google Toastmasters or Toastmasters clubs in your area, and we've got clubs right across this area. I'm from the Fareham Club in Fareham, Solent speakers, Di's from Hamwick in Southampton. We've got clubs in Winchester, Chichester, Spinnaker speakers in Portsmouth. So there are lots of clubs all around the area, and if you just Google Toastmasters Club, you'll find the local club.
In your first 3 meetings, you're not obliged to join or pay anything. You go for free and you can see, because it's not for everyone, you know.
And it's not like Fight Club, you don't have to get up and speak at the first meeting if you don't want to.
Definitely not, no.
And you were saying as well that it can actually be quite an awful lot of fun by the time you get into the swing of things.
Absolutely. There is something very satisfying about being able to communicate with an audience. And once you start to be able to enjoy it and relax, and you get that feedback from the audience too, it's a two-way process. I think a lot of people think of a speech as a one-way process, but actually you're getting feedback from the audience. They're nodding, they're smiling, and you're trying to create that engagement with them.
And are you always on the lookout for new audience members as well as new speakers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without an audience there, it doesn't create the same atmosphere, and that's one of the nice things about Toastmasters. We have typically between 20 and 40 members at a club meeting, so there's always a good audience to present to.
Just going to say the contest that's coming up in May, the buzz and the networking that goes on is incredible, you know. So you get a lot of people, all different walks of life, all different levels of education and capabilities. You know, one of my most inspirational club member colleagues was had learning disabilities. He was absolutely inspirational. People that are blind, people with physical disabilities. It's a real leveller. Toastmasters can give people skills to overcome anything.
And definitely a real confidence booster.
Absolutely.
Well, we've been so confident with our talking abilities. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. But thank you very much for joining me, and good luck with the competitions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.